No air conditioning.
No.
Why is that?
Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects, like, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable and loose.
Savage, whatever I want, I'm going to get. Whatever I want, I have to get.
There are so many witnesses. There are so many victims.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Some of the hardest parts of this pain are the shame and the guilt I have experienced that plays a negative part.
Difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that.
He ruled hip-hop, redefined luxury, and turned parties into billion-dollar deals. But behind the champagne and success, dark secrets brewed. This is the jaw-dropping rise and catastrophic fall of Sean Diddy Combs, a story of power, fame, and the price of silence. What really brought the empire down? Bad Boy Records, the launch of a legacy. Before he was Diddy, Sean Combs was a young hustler from Harlem with a dream bigger than New York City itself. In 1993, he founded Bad Boy Records, and it hit the ground running. With razor-sharp instincts and an eye for talent, Diddy signed a young rapper named Christopher Wallace, better known as the notorious B.I.G. Almost overnight, Bad Boy became the sound of the streets and the boardroom. Their music was raw, emotional, and irresistible. Hits like Juicy and Mo Money Mo Problems exploded across radio stations, making Diddy a household name. He wasn't just producing tracks, he was shaping the culture. With Biggie as the face and Diddy as the architect, Bad Boy wasn't just a record label, it was a movement. And as money started flowing and egos grew, Diddy's empire was only getting started. But fame, as always, comes with a price. Fashion, TV, and liquor, empire expansion. Diddy was never content with dominating just one lane. As Bad Boy Records soared, he turned his attention to fashion, launching the Sean John clothing line in 1998. It was sleek, bold, and unapologetically urban. Within years, it became a staple on runways and red carpets, earning him a CFDA award and millions in revenue. But that was only the beginning. He teamed up with Diageo to promote Cîroc vodka, transforming it from an unknown label into a luxury lifestyle brand. Sales skyrocketed, and so did his stake, reportedly earning him over $100 million. Then came Revolt TV, his ambitious media venture aimed at capturing the pulse of hip-hop culture on screen. With each move, Diddy wasn't just expanding, he was redefining what a hip-hop mogul could be. Music, fashion, alcohol, television, everything he touched turned to gold. But as the empire grew, so did the pressure to keep it all under control. A billion-dollar brand on top. By the early 2010s, Sean Diddy Combs had done what few artists ever could. He became a brand worth nearly $1 billion. He was not just known for hit records or flashy parties anymore. He was a serious businessman, appearing on Forbes' hip-hop's wealthiest list year after year. Between his music catalog, Cîroc partnership, Sean John fashion line, and Revolt TV, his income streams were diverse and powerful. Every event he hosted became a headline. Every product he endorsed became a bestseller. From Grammy stages to Wall Street boardrooms, Diddy was the face of black excellence and entrepreneurial dominance. At his peak, his empire stretched across music, fashion, liquor, media, and even real estate. He wasn't chasing trends, he was creating them. But when you're sitting that high, one misstep can send everything crashing down. And behind the scenes, that downfall was already starting to take shape. Cracks begin, allegations and asset sales. At first, the cracks were barely visible. A lawsuit here, a tabloid headline there, nothing unusual for a man of Diddy's fame. But behind the scenes, his empire was shifting. In late 2023, longtime partner Macy's quietly pulled the plug on Sean John, citing brand decline. Then came whispers about internal Revolt TV struggles and an exodus of talent. But the real storm hit when Cassie, his former partner, filed a shocking lawsuit alleging years of abuse.
Cassie says the incidents occurred throughout her 10-year relationship with Combs.
Though settled quickly, it opened the floodgates. More allegations surfaced, partnerships faltered, and suddenly, the mogul who once flaunted a $60 million Beverly Hills mansion and a private jet was listing both for sale. It no longer looked like a mogul managing assets. It looked like someone preparing for impact. Legal earthquake, raids, indictments, and trials. In 2024, things spiraled. Homeland Security raided his homes in Miami and LA, reportedly investigating him for sex trafficking, racketeering, and more. Footage of agents storming his properties made international news. Diddy was silent at first, but the indictments followed fast. Federal documents alleged a secretive network of illicit parties, illegal recordings, and coercion stretching over decades.
Following some breaking news in the Sean Combs prostitution case, his defense lawyers just dropped their push
to speed up his sentencing.
Suddenly, his business partners were gone. Cîroc's parent company Diageo severed ties. Revolt TV began distancing itself. Diddy, who once sat at the center of black excellence and celebrity culture, was now fighting for his freedom. Courtrooms replaced boardrooms. Every day brought a new headline, a new witness, a new accusation. What was once a global empire began collapsing under the weight of its own secrets. Bombshell verdict. What remains standing? By mid-2025, the courtroom became Diddy's main stage. Cameras weren't allowed inside, but the world hung on every leak and every headline. Then came the verdict. The jury acquitted him on the most severe charges, racketeering and sex trafficking, but convicted him on charges of solicitation and unlawful surveillance. Legally, he dodged a life-ruining sentence, but reputationally, the damage was done. His brand was now inseparable from scandal. Companies issued public statements cutting ties. Even close friends in the industry began keeping their distance. The man who once called himself Uncle Puffy and inspired a generation now stood at the center of controversy. And as the dust settled, the question wasn't just, is Diddy guilty? It was, what's left of everything he built? Net worth vanished from $900 million to $400 million. Once hailed as hip-hop's first billionaire in waiting, Diddy's fortune took a brutal hit. Lawsuits, settlements, and terminated deals bled his bank accounts dry. Analysts estimate his net worth dropped from over $900 million to barely $400 million. And that figure might keep falling. The $30 million Beverly Hills mansion? Sold. Private jet? Liquidated. Sean John? Offloaded for pennies on the dollar. His prized Cîroc partnership, once a symbol of success, is no longer his. And with civil suits piling up, including multiple from former employees and artists, more payouts are likely. Diddy isn't broke, but he's no longer untouchable. The empire that once symbolized luxury and power is now a cautionary tale, a reminder that no brand, no matter how powerful, is bulletproof. Could the king make a comeback? Comebacks are rare in the face of scandal this massive, but not impossible. In recent months, Diddy has made subtle public moves, retreating from the spotlight, issuing vague apologies, and posting cryptic messages about healing and growth. His legal team hints at appeals, while PR experts suggest a rebrand might be underway. Some fans remain loyal, believing the media exaggerated his downfall. Others say the damage is permanent, too deep to recover from. Industry insiders whisper about a potential documentary or tell-all interview, but nothing is confirmed. If there's one thing history has shown us, it's that Diddy is a master of reinvention. But this time, the stakes are different. He's not just fighting for his career, he's fighting for his legacy. Will he rise from the ashes or fade into the long list of fallen icons? The world is watching, and Diddy knows better than anyone. The next move has to be perfect. From Harlem streets to global stardom, and now the edge of ruin. Diddy's story isn't just about music or money. It's about legacy, accountability, and the masks fame can hide. Will he rebuild, or is this the end of an era? Hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for what comes next.